there, welcome to Motorcycles and Misfits, coming to you from the Recycle Garage in sunny Santa Cruz, California, USA. What a fantastic show we've got for you this evening. Before we get into that, let's talk about who's in the house. Who is in the house, Liza?
In his house?
In the house?
Hey everyone,
Oh, shit,
this
going to Hizzle.
is Liza.
No shit. Look at you.
And I'm tired. hanging in there, but we're going to get to that because, having fun is just exhausting.
It can be.
And I just had too much fun.
It can be.
Yeah. Well, joining us for the second week in a row and the last week in a row, special guest, Louisa.
Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that right.
So what was your other name that you weren't going to tell us about?
No, I can't.
I saw
possibly
it.
tell you.
No, I saw it.
You did see it because I had to produce my driving license for today's event.
You had your licence.
My license.
Yes.
Yes, but it is top secret.
And I'm not going to share.
Well, I know you have your secret name, but no secret because it is on his license. It's Stumpy John.
Licensed to ill.
I have it printed in my underwear. Just in case Jim needs to save me on the dirt. And
Right.
I bleach.
It does kind of look like the Shroud of Turin there.
Oh my God.
Ooh,
it
That's
does.
a good one.
tough room.
This is a tough crowd.
Speaking of underwear, I'm going to introduce this next guest, and I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to use my psychic powers to guess what color underwear she's wearing. It could be so... I'm going to go with the old nugget of the leopard print.
A Jaguar print, darling.
Oh, Miss Emma
Mhm.
with Jaguar underwear. Thank you.
Après moi, le déluge.
Joining Emma on the Classy Girl Couch, special guest joining us. We got Rob. Say hi to everyone.
Hey, everybody.
Rob, you had your first day at the garage.
I did. And I was actually very impressed. The vibe here is extraordinary.
You're gonna have stories, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Going around the room, looking dapper in his Motorcycles and Misfits shirt. It's Neal.
Hey there, Moto people. I'm happy to be here.
I was so happy when you showed up today too.
Okay.
I needed help. Going around the room by the open window. I feel like he's always ready to leap out if shit gets
He's
too
making
crazy.
like cruise ship sounds over
Usually it's the smell that drives me out. But no.
It's Naked Jim.
Hey, like a breeze you never want to end.
And I have to compliment you on that fine Norton shirt you're wearing, Jim.
Well, I'm trying to keep up your shimmering Suzuki shirt. I am
Suzuki!
quite jealous.
Oh,
of.
we have Suzuki news coming up.
Is that a
Like-
canary yellow? What are the colors? A canary
Well,
yellow?
this is the old motocross colours from
Yeah.
back in the 70s.
Mhm.
So they were yellow with a two-tone blue stripe. And I think you described the stripes as navy and sky blue, I should say.
Striking.
So it would have been like Roger Di Coste,
Yes.
Joe Robert.
Yeah, exactly.
Parlez-vous, humma humma?
Parlez-vous, mama? That's exactly.
And joining us from sunny Velveeta, Oregon. It's Bagel.
There's a town called Velveeta.
There is now.
Yes. And it was sunny today. And while Emma is wearing Jaguar print underwear, I'm wearing Volkswagen print underwear.
Are you really? Fantastic. I'm very impressed.
Speaking of Volkswagen, I'm gonna just cut and do a little teaser. We saw a Volkswagen Bug Club going down West Cliff
Classic
today.
bugs, yes.
Just a
Nice.
parade of them, and one thing. And one thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, VW
That's
thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is really cool.
And one thing, and everybody hangs on your next word like, no, that's it.
That's it. But it's a very California thing, the whole Volkswagen culture.
Thing one and thing two. Oh, yeah.
Was Columbo driving it? One more thing?
No.
Columbo.
So, I wanted to just kind of
Just one more thing.
I wanted to kind of introduce Rob Day, who's here with us, who and how he came to be here and how this whole thing, and Louisa was a part of that.
A true story
I
of
was there.
serendipity.
Yes.
Yeah.
More of the hapless victim, but yes. A couple months ago when I went to the Horizons Unlimited event with Louisa up at
Right.
Mariposa, and I'm just kind of like new to it and just checking it out. And Jim, you know how this is. One of my policies, like when you're going to like sit down, she went to like it's like cafeteria style tables, and she goes sit at a big empty spot. I'm like, no. Let's go sit next to that guy who's just sitting by himself.
They ambushed me.
Well, we do have that odd ability to sniff out a vibration in someone that's going to have something to do about something.
Yeah. So we just sidled up. I'm like, hey there, you mind some company? And
All she had to say was, I'm Liza Miller. And I was like, oh, we've been Facebook friends for like years, right? And we finally met in person. And it was...
Yeah. And just this whole full circle. Y'all remember our good friend Bill Edgar from our rally last year.
Okay.
Yep.
From ADV Moto Pros.
He is on my team. He was my newest member, and he's what we call the unicorn. Excellent instructor, ex-cop, no ego.
We liked him. Yeah, good interview.
He's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sat down with Rob and just started chatting, finding out who we know in common, and just having a good old time. It was a real kind of a social event, met a lot of people there. And then come to find that he's also involved with a new electric motorcycle company called Verge Motorcycles.
Which we will come to, but we're not going to let you off the hook because we want to know about you first.
Oh, you want some background?
Well, I mean, you've obviously been monkeying around with motorcycles for a long time.
Yeah, quite a bit.
And you were at Horizons Unlimited, so obviously your kind of genre. Did you? Let's start at the beginning.
Okay. At the beginning, back in 1964, my parents... No. Do you want to hear the details? No, actually, motorcycles have been part of my life since 1979.
Okay.
All right.
Good
I'm
year
kind
for
of dating
bikes.
myself here. My first bike was a Yamaha DT100. Love that bike.
Oh, yeah.
Blew a hole in the piston, and then it was
Ding, ding, ding,
street
ding.
bikes for decades.
Right.
And eventually I bought a GS and, kind of went off road a couple times and realized, it's a little different on a 600-pound bike. So I got some training and I ended up at Rawhide and I did a bunch of their training, ended up becoming an instructor there, was there for 7 years, became a lead or senior coach and tour leader, then branched out on my own in January of 22, started my company and started bringing the people that I trusted most that were available. Should I name drop?
Sure, go ahead.
Well, what did your company do?
We
is an
train
important
people how to ride big adventure bikes off-road.
Okay.
Actually, let me rephrase that. We give people the confidence to manage these big machines off-road.
Right.
Right? Instead of the crippling anxiety that comes with the first time you go down a gravel road.
Because, I mean, a GS, and it dawned on me when you said it, depending on the motorcyclist, when you say GS, there's a whole generation of motorcycles who BMWs pop into their head.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
To me, when you say GS, I think of big old air-cooled Suzukis.
Yeah,
And I had one of those.
Right.
My very first brand new motorcycle, right after that Yamaha, was a Suzuki GS 450T.
Which you mentioned to me when I pulled up on the old 850. But they are BMW GSs, big. I think 600 pounds is quite conservative, really, because when you load them up, it's closer to 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So it's a big lump that you're riding through challenging terrain.
Yes.
So you showed people the technique to get these through tough spots.
Yes.
Very good.
And we pride ourselves on expeditionary skills. In other words, we're not trying to show people how to be a badass. Right. We do have other levels of training for people that want something more, but we're all about you got to get there. Right.
And get there safely without losing an arm or a leg.
And know how to change a tire. But not on a GS, you just plug them. Lucky you.
I think one of the best things that we learned from Jocelyn is where to look.
Yep.
I mean, where to look.
And a lot of hope. Hope is big in my playbook.
So is this company still active, or did you?
Absolutely. We are growing every year. We started with just me. Now I have, if anyone here has ever been to any other types of training, you're probably going to recognize some of these names. In Colorado, one of my teammates is Trev Richter.
Yeah, Trevy's been here in the studio.
There you go. And in Idaho, well, not Idaho anymore. Now he's in Alaska, Josh Jones. And Josh Jones and I have worked with Harley Davidson a few times as well. In Southern California, everybody knows Barty, Brian Bartel.
Oh, through Aaron, I think I've heard.
Right. He's the best mechanic I've ever met, and he is by far the best rider I have ever known. He is my guy. And we also now have Bill Edgar.
Yeah.
All right. So we're currently a team of 5. There are a couple of people that are kind of trying to hope to get involved with the whole thing, and we're very picky, very, very picky. We've seen other people become instructors that maybe shouldn't have. So we're not going to go that route. We're not just going to take anybody. And we like the fact that we're spread out all over the country. So that if somebody says, hey, when are you coming to wherever? Well, we've probably got somebody there. Right. So it's growing. I like the slow growth, but it's also now growing a lot faster than I thought it was going to, especially because also at the Horizons Unlimited Travelers meeting, I met Tim Tyler. Tim Tyler is the producer of the Moto Trek series.
Oh,
yeah. And we went up to Mendocino National Forest a couple of weekends ago and spent a few days shooting. One video is already dropped, and one is going to drop probably tomorrow or the next day.
Yeah,
So-
you sent me that one. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're going to get to the main attraction with your permission. So,
Sure.
I mean,
what's the name of your company before we?
Yes, before we.
It's Adventure Motorcycle Professionals, and the shorthand version is ADV Moto Pros.
I had one other follow because I wasn't sure if we were going to talk about this or the other big topic which coming up. But so I'm curious when you mentioned expeditionary part of the training, right? So we ride dirt bikes, dual sports. I used to have an Africa Twin. I went down to a Tenere 7 for obvious reasons.
Love that bike.
But there's one thing to take a class in a controlled environment. It's super different when you're actually out there, right? And you encounter like just the odd random things and things like that. So as part of the training, like are you going out on trails and like maybe doing an overnighter?
It depends on where we are and what part of the country we're in.
Yeah.
So when we do training in Southern California, we go out on the trails. We use like OHV areas to start,
like
and then we hit the
there,
trails.
like San Diego, like Anza-Borrego area.
No, I have trained in Anza-Borrego
because that's sandy. Like on a big bike, that has
it's
to be
challenging.
brutal.
Yeah. So for someone that's brand new to it, I don't use Anza-Borrego because it's kind of not fair to them to make them train in sand.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But we've used places like Hungry Valley, OHV area,
totally, right?
and Rower Flats,
Mhm.
and also the trails in the Green Valley area. So in between Santa Clarita and like Mojave, there's this little
that's a
community
beautiful
called
area.
Green. Yeah, and that's where Barty lives.
Like
and
Ojai, kind of, is it? Ojai?
Well, it's like sort of east of
More
Ojai.
east of that. Yeah, okay.
But the trails are fantastic. They're my
Cool.
favorite trails. I love them. It's also where I go to evaluate bikes for some OEMs, and it's consistent. It's always good there. So there are places on some of those trails that are wide open, and I can start the training in a nice flat area,
Okay.
and then we hit the trails. There's one trail that rides, it's the ridge line above Rower Flats, above Santa Clarita, and it's way up there, and there's this one monster hill. It looks just absolutely terrifying, but it's a great hill to train on.
I was curious just listening to it.
So, but we could get into more, and we're not going to because
we're not supposed to be talking about that. We're supposed to be talking about Verge.
well, and here is the thing. So as we navigate through this evening's show, this cat's got some motorcycle chops. Bear that in mind because we've had a lot of CEOs come in here, and it's clear they've never even ridden a motorcycle before or have a very vested relationship with them, even though they're representative of company.
Shameful.
This is not the case with you. So, who are you representing today?
Today, we had a very, very fun event here today for Verge Motorcycles.
Who are Verge?
Verge Motorcycles is a company from Finland, and the company started with two brothers who are engineers who had been told repeatedly that what they wanted to do couldn't be done, and that is the donut motor. That is the heart of this entire motorcycle, okay? So now Verge is a thing. They've been in Europe since 2022.
Well, hang on.
Oh, yep.
What is a donut motor? Is it a motor that runs on donuts?
I wish. I
Is it
wish.
a donut motor or a bagel
No,
motor?
it is a hubless integrated rim motor.
So we're talking about a motorcycle to the uninitiated that looks like a Tron bike.
Yes,
Or
it
at
looks
least
very
the
much
back.
like a Tron bike.
Okay,
Yes.
so there we are. Now we're on the same page. So we have two brothers and who are engineers who wanted to build the better bike.
Yes, and they knew that the design that they had in their head could be, for example, it might be the most power and torque dense motor of any kind, and that's what they achieved.
Okay.
So this motor, which was already the most torque and power dense motor of its kind, is now the Donut Motor 2.0 is even 50% lighter. So it's going to be hard to beat. And they have a lot of there's 5 other versions of the Donut Motor that are going to be used in things like a McLaren supercar or semi-trucks or scooters. They have a 12-inch version. They have a 4.5-inch-ish version that's going to be used in industrial heavy lift drones, right? So there's a lot of demand for this motor. They have some potential military contracts that we probably can't talk about. But it's, it took off once they were
go ahead, it's all
successful
right.
with it, right?
Yeah.
It was, right.
You're safe here.
I can tell you, but I had to kill you. Right.
Right. So this is an electric motorcycle.
Yes.
And it's set apart by its design. It certainly appears to be quite quick.
It's very quick. This motor on the Verge TS Pro,
Yes.
everybody grab hold of something. This is going to shock you. That motor puts out 737 foot-pounds of torque. Wow.
Wow.
Right? So that's 5 or 10 times more than any other motorcycle.
So, but my question is thus, is that actually, so was that available on any of the bikes we rode today?
Only if we would have turned off the traction control.
Right. Because like all electric motorcycles, we all did a test ride, and I think everybody in this room rode one.
Yeah.
And there's various modes, and you could put it at the highest power mode was
Beast mode.
the beast mode. So what did that translate to in terms of torque?
So what beast mode will do is so it has traction control in that mode, and it will
Yes.
keep the front wheel on the ground.
Yes.
You can literally pin the throttle from a dead stop, and it will deliver as much torque as it knows you can manage without flipping the bike over. Let's put
Okay.
it that way. That's the easiest way to
So
explain
I
it.
did pin the throttle. And so
Yep.
I experienced that.
Mhm.
And
the
as
traction
you
nanny
start to
doing its thing.
accelerate, it delivers more and more. So we say 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. However, 40 to 90 is less than 2 seconds. I mean, once you start the bike moving, it really, really goes when you twist the throttle.
And that's what I experienced. I mean, it's 0 to 60 in 3 seconds is not particularly quick for a motorcycle.
Right.
There's a number of gasoline-powered motorcycles that are considerably quicker, including Hayabusas, of course.
Sure.
But
Stretch ones.
especially the stretch ones. But yes, when I experienced that, you could feel the torque multiplying as
Yes.
it went. So, all of these.
The way it delivered the power, it felt like just on the side, it kind of protected you from yourself.
Yeah,
Like I
right.
said, you could, because we played with the power,
Exactly.
but there wasn't like, I wouldn't say a delay, but it, like, remember when the electric wackadoos, no offense, would show up with those death bikes, those
Yeah,
electric
yeah.
custom made stuff,
Yeah.
and you would 12 o'clock it and fly off the curb across the street like in a
Right.
second. This one you could grab a handful of throttle, and as long as you're holding on,
Right.
the bike will do okay.
And I think if we go back 10 years,
There's a 6-axis IMU in this thing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's,
And I probably should have showed you, if you go into the custom mode and attempt to turn off the traction control, a very, very big warning
Right.
message comes up, basically saying, "Are you sure?"
Remember Luke Workman, who had one of these death bikes,
Yeah.
before you rode it, he would videotape you. You know this bike is dangerous.
Right.
You know this bike can kill you.
Here's this waiver. Yeah.
but what it reminded me of and what I wanted to say was, if we go back 10 years to the S1000 RR BMW,
Yeah.
it was a very clever bike, and it set new standards for superbikes.
And
Not-
it was also billed as one of the safest bikes you could
Right.
ride at the time.
because it was enormously clever.
Yeah.
That there was a lot of intrusion into the power to make it very user friendly.
Correct.
And this feels very similar in that respect. I think saving you from yourself is a wonderful analogy on your part, Jim.
Right.
And Neal, what did you say? You said something technical.
It has a 6-axis IMU in it, which is
What is that?
Most premium large bikes
So it's-
have
I thought it was an
Okay,
8-axis.
Well, I don't have premium bikes.
yeah. So it stands for inertia management.
Inertial measurement unit. Yeah.
Okay.
So it measures tilt, it measures
That's your
acceleration,
traction control and all that.
It measures
Exactly.
if the wheel's starting to come up. All these different forces. So
And the traction control on this bike is more accurate than most others because instead of having a typical wheel speed sensor at the rear wheel, it gets its cues from the motor controller and it's much higher resolution. So the traction control is extremely accurate on this bike.
And what you will
Very
find,
cool.
super tight coupling to it.
Yes.
if you've ever followed traction control and anti-lock braking through really Genesis to where it was now, traction control and anti-lock braking is two sides of the same coin.
Right.
And
Okay.
anti-lock braking got its start in the Second World War with aircraft. And had you experienced that, it was very, very, you once it kicked in, it'd be thump, thump, thump,
Right.
thump. And then if you drove early cars with it, it'd be thump, 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 thump,
Yep.
thump, and you can still feel it. Now, everything's becoming seamless. And with traction control, which kind of works on the same with the speed sensors,
Right.
you can almost still feel the thump, particularly of all things on very early BMWs, because you look at the choppers on the wheels and they're very, very far spaced apart.
Okay.
The Japanese one, they're a lot closer together. And of course, it works digitally on this thing.
So it's different. It uses an accelerometer sensor.
Right.
So it's not mechanical almost is what the
Yes,
old-
exactly.
Yeah.
We've gone, I mean, they all have an electronic element.
Right.
Every single one of them has an electronic element, but the initial was the magnetized against
Yeah,
the chopper,
reading a
basically
thing.
the variation of a Hall effect.
So basically, I felt safe knowing that this was keeping me out of trouble.
Right. Me too.
Yeah.
So I've had a brilliant idea. This is a good one.
Yes.
Traction control should be the name of an adult diaper. If you take it off, you risk skid marks.
I think we've got a test subject right there. Now, let's talk a little bit about the bikes because we've all ridden them. Are they perfect bikes? No. Are they enormously fast bikes? Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Hold on, Emma, I want to jump in and say there's been a lot of electric motorcycles to come out since we started talking to
we have
about
ridden a
them.
lot of them.
And, we've been talking about the Zeros and Lightning and Energica and many different companies. And it got to a point where I kind of stopped following because there's a lot of brands that were coming out that I call more of like a boutique brand.
Sure.
Something that was a commuter bike, something that I feel like they're taking parts off of a shelf, building a bike that's got a cool look. It's a hipster thing. It's maybe under
Right.
10 grand, but they're not pushing the envelope of discovery of innovation at all. But you do get the companies like Energica and Zero that were forging that path, somewhat Livewire too. This, I feel, is the next bike company to be doing that, to be pushing innovation and contributing to the industry.
Yeah,
And that's what got my attention.
not to mention
Right.
Stark in the dirt bike space too. as well.
Exactly. So that's why we haven't mentioned a lot of those brands because not a lot of people were taking that risk and investing in
Sure.
ingenuity. This brand, when I saw that, I'm like, I'm interested.
Well,
And
all the
these-
magic starts with that motor,
Right.
and that motor allows the entire motorcycle to be designed and built differently than any other motorcycles that ever been done.
This may be a bad question to ask, but can you just, because I looked at an exploded diagram of what the motor looks like, the wheel kind of all blown apart. Can you describe how that actually works?
Yeah, so it's kind of confusing at first because, especially if you have an engineering background and you understand how an electric motor works in general.
How do you feed the hamsters? That's what I'm.
Right.
It's like a brushless DC. You have three multiple poles and they're done in 3 phases, and you alternate the phases with a 3-phase AC variable frequency and voltage to.
Is this the same way they launch roller coasters now?
Kind of.
But then you also have to attach it to the rubber that sticks to the road.
And
like
in the
whole
case of the
mechanism
donut
is-
motor, the biggest difference is that the stator, which is normally the spinning part, is stationary. The rotor rotates around it with the magnet.
So you've got this like series of copper wire things in a circle that's stationary.
Correct.
And then the magnet is actually the wheel itself.
Yes.
What a trip.
Yeah, it's very trippy.
I mean, one thing, the technology is really great, but really what strikes me, it's the look. I mean, it's a cool looking bike.
It's a very, very cool looking bike. We can jump in to what I feel perhaps is the biggest difference of the bike. And I'm not going to call it a flaw, but for want of a better term, the elephant in the room. It is an enormously powerful engine. And because of that, it does occupy a little bit of real estate, which means width. Now, we have a 120 section front tire and a 240 section rear tire.
Fatty back there.
Because
Serious meat.
because you need that width to get the power.
Not anymore.
Well, and there we
To fit the
go.
motor.
So every single person in this room who rode the bike noticed that rear tire. It does take a little bit of pushing around. I found that I was a lot happier riding the bike when I started pushing it around with my ass.
Sure.
And
Yeah,
not counter steering it. It does not respond well to counter steering.
You almost not fight it, but yeah.
Yeah, well, it was. I'm not going to say it was fighting me. It was reluctant.
But Emma, I felt that was less to do with the rear wheel and more to do with the rake of the forks.
And
It's
both
both.
of those things have updates. So first of all, the let's talk about the front end geometry first.
Yeah.
Yes.
So currently, the bikes that we rode today, model year 24 European spec bikes, have 20.5 degrees of rake. That's very aggressive. And 4.5 inches of trail, which is very sporty.
Yes.
And very aggressive. The bikes that we're bringing to the States, the model year 26 bikes, have a 25-degree rake and 3.5 inches of trail. So we have
smooth it
increased
out.
stability, but we still, by shortening the trail, have a nice sporty feel.
Okay.
So this was a good improvement. Second thing that happened, the Donut Motor 2.0 is not that wide anymore. It's half that wide. And it's also 50% lighter. And so this bike that we're first bringing, the TS Pro, is still going to have that big fat 240 on there, but it really shows off the carbon fiber rim a lot more. And it also opens the door for us to make it narrower profile. And we can put, for example, a 180 back there.
Yeah, I feel the bike would be demonstrably different to ride with a 180 or a 190 back there. I mean, it didn't really spoil the fun for me on the bike, but it was something definitely to get used to.
Yep.
I found I took to it very, very easily.
Yeah, I think pretty much everybody did.
Yeah.
Just said,
So
it's not a difficult bike to ride, and it's not
very
a
easy to
difficult
ride.
bike to ride fast.
Right.
So
Or slow, by the way.
Yeah. So can we talk about why create a rear wheel motor? What are the advantages here?
The advantages are extraordinary power from a very lightweight package. So that motor is currently the most torque and power dense motor of any type, gas or electric.
So you're
That
not
was the goal.
you're not losing any of that through your
Right.
drive unit. Okay.
Right. And there's no transmission losses. There's no drivetrain losses. It's 737 foot-pounds of torque to the rubber.
Right.
No losses.
So, and we've talked about this before, and we're just going to revisit it briefly so people understand. So if you take, say, an internal combustion engine, and there's always 2 power figures and 2 torque figures, and it's at the crank and at the rear wheel. And it's at the rear wheel is always distressingly less than at the
Right.
crank because there are losses throughout.
Right.
The most
It's like about a
inefficient
third.
is, of course, shaft drive,
Right.
which robs up 20 to 30% of your power from the crank to the rear wheel by going through the transmission.
But it's low maintenance.
But it's zero maintenance,
Yeah.
really, as if you don't mind changing the oil once in a while. So sport bikes, always a chain drive. There's no question of that. And
typically the most efficient way of getting that power there.
So we've even taken that out. There is no transmission here. There is no final drive here. It is literally the motor is the rear wheel, but it's lightweight, so we're not fighting unsprung weight.
Correct.
When we were kind of going, when we could kind of get on it a little bit through some of the turns, and it may have been in my head, but it felt like when you rolled on it, kind of coming out of a turn, it almost felt like the rear wheel was pushing you or something. Is
or
that
trying to stand you up?
So,
Yeah.
It just felt different.
Yep.
It was
and
interesting.
that's a product of the fat back tire.
Got it.
Right.
Okay.
And I think we discussed that exactly, and we were demonstrating that, weren't we, Louisa? Because we were kind of riding alongside. And I said, like, mash it in a curve. And it wants to kind of push you up.
Yep.
But that's not the way it delivers the power. It's just the rear size of the rear tire. Okay, cool.
The other advantage is real estate by moving the motor to the rear. So where does the motor usually sit on bikes?
On an electric bike, it's somewhere in the chassis. And that's why when you see a lot of electric designs, the battery is upright. It's like a big monolith that's upright, and it tends to make the bikes top heavy.
Right.
In this case, there's nothing else necessary in the chassis other than some cabling and some controllers, which are above the battery. So from about the halfway point down in the chassis is all battery. It's a 200-pound battery pack, and it sits all the way in the bottom of the chassis. And that's why the bike has such a light feel. So the bikes we rode today were 540 pounds, but to me, they feel like about 460 pounds.
Yeah, so that was your imaginary line from the crown nut to the rear axle.
We're gonna revisit the imaginary line again. We talked about this just last week, and we talked about rake and trail.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the imaginary line, Rob, you draw a line from the crown, which is the nut that holds on the top triple tree.
Okay.
And you draw an imaginary line from that in a straight line to the back wheel axle. Now, of course, your bike doesn't have a back wheel axle.
Right.
But
we could imagine you do it to the hamster.
We can extrapolate it to the center of the hole.
Axle.
Right.
Yeah, we can extrapolate it to the center of the hole. Everything in front and below that line is going to help you in the handling department.
Correct.
Everything above and behind it, including you, will hinder it.
Exactly.
So
our entire battery pack is below that line.
Right. The bikes did feel enormously agile. Now, Energicas are a good example. I thoroughly enjoy riding Energicas. It's a very visceral experience for an electric bike. Number one, they absolutely scream at you. There's a lot going on, but they do feel enormously heavy because they are. This was far more agile than an Energica, which I enjoyed very much.
Agile to a fault, though. Like when I went into a turn, I hit a little bump and it wanted to pop me upright.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that rake will fix that.
Can we talk about the suspension? Because you provided us with bikes with two very different suspensions, different manufacturers.
Correct.
Oh.
So we offer Öhlins or Wilburs. Same price. It doesn't affect the price of the bike.
Wheelbarrows? Is that what we were riding, John? I saw you bouncing.
Yeah, it was.
And we had the bikes that had the Wilburs we had them set firm. So anyone that rode the green or red bikes experienced the firm setting, and the Öhlins bikes, the orange or white, were set much softer. Even though the Wilbur suspension has high and low speed compression damping circuits, they're more fine tunable. I just haven't got my hands on them yet. Right. So I was the one that unpacked the California edition, the orange bike, and the white bike from Customs, and had them at my house for several days, shakedown, ABS tests, and setting the suspension. Right. And so what I tried to do with those two bikes was set them to accommodate the largest number of riders. Average weight based on just experience. Some people are like me, a little north of 200 pounds, and others are a lot lighter. So I tried to set those two bikes up a little bit more comfortable, and I just haven't gotten to the bikes that have the Wilbur suspension yet.
Right. So me and Louisa, we were on the Wilbur's bikes, and we were getting bounced around somewhat.
Yeah.
The orange and the white bike were ahead of us. I'm going to be absolutely honest with you, Rob. None of the four appeared to have particularly smooth ride. They're definitely sporty suspension. They're on the firm side.
Yes. There's only 4.17 inches of travel at the rear. And if you've set up your static sag correctly, that's just a little bit less than 3 inches of stroke left for you.
Right.
Right. So
it's not much, is it?
No, it's not. And depending on the spring rate that we've ordered from the company, right, there's a lot of variables there. And again, the company listens to feedback from everybody that test rides the bikes. There have been changes as well to all of the geometry, not just the front end, but again, I can't wait to get my hands on one of the new bikes, but I guarantee you there will be improvements there as well. The swing arm is redesigned. The motor is now 50% lighter, which is a huge reduction in unsprung mass. So that will help too, because part of that harsh feel was from that mass being slammed upward and traveling through the chassis. So with less weight at the motor, that won't be felt quite as much either.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about the riding position. Everyone comfortable with the riding position?
I want to say I found it was interesting that this bike could either be a sport bike or a power cruiser.
Right.
Well,
that is a subtle little thing that's not so subtle.
Hang on, we're dovetailing into that because the riding position, when I sat on the thing, it reminded me of a Gen 2 VMAX in terms of how it rode. It's the Spider-Man crouch.
Right.
It's not a Gen 1. A Gen 1 VMAX, your feet are far further forward.
Sure.
But if you ride a Gen 2, it's what I call the Spider-Man crouch. Many, many years ago, I built a Moto Guzzi, and I deliberately built it with big old tiller bars on and rear sets because I find that very comfortable. And that's how they rode.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because you basically got... I mean, some people would say the mid-controls, but they were far too far back from mid-controls.
Yeah.
Especially if you use the ball of your feet, which you can, because there's no controls there.
Right.
But you got big old tiller bars on them, which I enjoyed very much. So I was kind of in my element with it.
Right.
Well, with the forward pegs, and that was almost like a Diavolo or something.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the thing. We haven't said it has 2 sets of pegs.
Yeah.
Choose your pegs. You can go rear or front. You know what I'd do if I had that bike? Stick some skis on there.
Oh, right. Some floorboards.
Use it all.
Right.
But no, I was playing around, putting my feet on the rear, and my body, it then pushes my body forward, and the way that my arms are coming at the bars, it's a different steering geometry than when I put my feet to the front, which then my shoulders come back naturally. And it was was a completely different bike.
Right. Well, and you're just scratching the surface on the adjustability of the bike, because that's one of the other than just the bitchin' look, the look I just can't get over. It's the adjustability for the controls was awesome to play with.
Right. On that same topic, so when we launched our newest location at the Bike Shed in Los Angeles, a very, very good friend of mine that I've known for probably 12 years came to the launch, and we were standing out in the parking lot talking, trying to find some quiet time. And he said, this is a mobility device. And I looked at him, I'm like, what are we talking about here? And he goes, you remember, I'm an amputee. And I was like, oh, that's right. He has no left leg. So this is Kurt Yeager. He's an actor. You've probably seen him in things like Another Life and CSI Miami. He does a whole bunch of stuff. Super good guy, awesome rider. And he's right, because on his bikes, he has to put a humongous servo on the shifter and then some buttons up on the handlebar so that he can shift the bike. He's like, I don't have to do anything to ride this bike. And so he also wants to do a podcast, and we want to target people that are maybe veterans that have come back from the Middle East with some sort of lower limb problem, and tell them, hey, you don't have to give up riding. You can ride this bike.
Right. Or upper limb.
Right. Right out of the box, you can ride this bike. Right.
So let's talk about your target audience. I'm deliberately avoiding the price right now, and we are going to talk about that. And we have to talk about it.
We haven't talked about range either.
Price is $100. What are you talking about?
So, yeah, I think that's very valid because that dovetails into the battery capacity. What is the range of the bike?
The range is up to 217 miles, and we currently hold the Guinness World Record for the longest ride on a single charge of any electric motorcycle.
Now.
And it was done in London in real conditions.
So, in order to get 270 miles of range, you've got to ride city.
Yeah.
At low throttle opening.
Low throttle and a lot of stop and go, so you're using a lot of regen.
If you just dump yourself on the freeway.
Yep.
Go down Interstate 5 and you're cruising at 70, 80 like we all do. What's your range?
You'll still get at least 100 miles from that charge.
How long does it take to charge after 100 miles?
0 to 80% at a fast charger in less than 35 minutes.
Okay.
Enough to have a piece of pie.
Right?
Right.
And honestly, we're not really, I mean, how often do we run the battery down to 0? So most charge stops are going to be 15 minutes or less.
Right. So, I mean, if we were going down to how far's LA from here?
330.
Yeah.
330. So you could probably squeak two.
Yep. Two stops.
2 stops, 20 minutes each, which is not awful.
Right?
I mean, I stop that much on the regular bike just to get off and stretch my legs and have some pie.
You know? After 100 miles, I'm ready to get off.
Yeah, I was going to say, and you get to a certain age and your bladder won't let you go much over 2 hours.
I'd go about
what age would that be? What are you trying to say here?
Well,
half the people in this room, Rob.
Yeah.
One thing we've learned about electric bikes, what you're really comparing is the battery. The battery is your gas tank, and it is your motor. It is your power. It is your range. It's everything.
It's probably the first question you get from most people, right?
Most of the time, yes, it is.
And one of the problems has been getting enough batteries. I mean, that's the thing. You can fit more batteries in, you can have more range. So looking at like our friends at Zero, the largest battery capacity they have, I think, is a 17.3.
Correct. I think so.
Which it goes up. Like, remember, a lot of them were just 14. Like we've seen them go from,
and we do have one in development that's 21.8 kilowatt hours as well.
So how many kilowatts do you have on this one?
20.2.
So already it's one of the largest batteries in the industry. I believe that Energica, the Xperia might have been bigger, but since they're out of not producing right now, what do you got, Bagel?
I was going to say I've got 24 kilowatt hours in my car.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a large hybrid would have that.
Yeah. So right away, this has
That's a lot of power.
A lot
more capacity, and that part of that was that real estate that was freed up that allowed the room for that.
So I tell you what, we're gonna
ask. I had 2 questions about the battery. So one I can answer myself. What voltage is it? It's a 400 volt system.
Correct.
What kind of battery chemistry is
lithium ion?
Okay.
Now, I've been pestering this company since the day they hired me. They're probably not happy with me about this because I keep asking, when are we going to start tinkering with solid-state batteries? I don't know if you guys realize, but Ducati just did this. They used QuantumScape's version of solid-state batteries. They have a race bike. It's a prototype.
Oh.
And the reason that they went with QuantumScape instead of a more known quantity like Samsung is because QuantumScape's design of a solid-state battery eliminates dendrites, which are the death of a solid-state battery. They're like little microscopic stalagmites that eventually connect the anode and cathode and then begin the battery's death cycle. With the QuantumScape battery, there is a ceramic layer between them that eliminates dendrites entirely, and QuantumScape claims over 30-year battery life with zero degradation.
Wait, what?
Zero degradation.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and
that's awesome.
Almost double the capacity for the same weight, and charge times under 8 minutes, full charge, right? But they're currently very expensive. They're still in the prototype stage.
But that is the game changer there, because that's
the
thing.
Game changer.
We talk about the bigger the battery, then the longer the range. But we also talk about the life of that battery and how much your investment diminishes after 5 years.
And if it's truly 30 years. In other words, that's well beyond the lifespan of the vehicle.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
we don't keep
the environmental impact, which is
so. I mean, this is as good a time as any. We're going to talk money, because the bikes are great. There's no question about that. The bikes look great. They perform great. They've got the longest range of probably any electric motorcycle on the market. Wherever you go, you're going to be mobbed by adoring fans.
It does happen.
But that comes at a price.
Yeah.
So if we walk into our local Verge dealer,
Yes.
what's our entry level price?
29,900.
That's the beginning.
Yes.
What is our top level price?
When it comes to market and it's still in development, there is a version called the TS Ultra,
Yes.
and that will be 44,900.
What were the bikes we were riding today?
TS Pro 29,900. And I'd like to point out there are considerable and significant upgrades, and the price will not change for these model year 26 bikes.
Okay.
Still 29,900.
Now, are there government incentives right now?
No, unfortunately, they
Not
took
in
away our incentives.
this
Right.
country,
Yeah.
but in others. Hey, I'd like to point out, just if we're comparing, because we're talking about performance bikes, let's bring up the S1000RR.
Yep.
What do you think the base model price?
Oh, they're getting up there now.
They're probably about 27.
It's saying base model is about 20, but then they're saying, but as shown with all the bells and whistles, it goes all the way up to 30,000. So
The new GSA, also 30,000.
yes, so for the performance you're getting, this is already established in the market
Right.
with gas bikes.
Or compare it if you're riding out just to look cool and go up to Alice's and hang out, compared to the price of a Harley or something
So-
like that,
Yeah.
right?
Now, here's the kicker, though.
Yes.
Cost of ownership.
Well,
Right.
we were going to get there because
Yeah,
there is
yeah.
a big
Mhm.
one here.
Uh-huh.
5 years is your projected battery life right now. How much are those batteries?
That is a question that I do not know the answer to. But I will say this. It's a proprietary pack, but it uses common chemistry, lithium-ion chemistry. There's
Right.
approximately 1,000 cells in our battery pack. Maybe just a hair over that.
That's about a $7,000 battery.
Oh,
That doesn't surprise me. That
More
sounds
than
about
more
right.
than
More
that,
than
more
that.
than that,
More
more
than
than
that.
that.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of a little bit the elephant in the room with electric bikes,
Right.
because yes, they're enormously cheap to maintain, because a gasoline bike, as you know, Jim,
They have a few parts.
Right?
oil changes, filter changes, spark plug changes,
Valve adjustments,
clearance,
yep.
that's the big one and the
Mhm.
expensive
And if you
one.
own a Ducati, that's a really big one.
Belts on a Ducati, of course. I'm one of the cheapest games in town for doing Desmo and belt service on a dock, but it's still $2,000,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that's a fraction of what the dealer would charge you. So that side of it is expensive. So you've really got to make that balance.
Yes.
I think my hesitation always has been and always will be with electric vehicles. The technology moves so fast.
Yes.
I'm always in fear of owning a vehicle that becomes obsolete enormously quickly. You know, today I'm riding a 46-year-old Suzuki.
And it's a beauty too, by the way.
But nevertheless, I don't think you could really effectively ride a 10 or even a 12-year-old electric vehicle.
That's a good point. And again, this is why I keep pushing everybody towards solid state. And the good news is they won't answer my question. Because if they weren't working on it, they would simply say, no, we're not. Right?
So you think, I mean, I think my question to you, and yes, you are representing the company, but do you feel that they are working for some kind of sustainability for the bikes and a
Yes.
sustainable experience
I
for
do.
the owners? So the
Yes.
owners don't feel that in 5 years' time, they're going to drop 10 large on a battery or however much it is.
As an example,
Yes.
they were very sensitive to the fact that the people that in Europe that already own these bikes might be somewhat put off when they saw the new bike introduced. And so they were very sensitive to this and didn't want to upset their current customers, right? Now, here in the States, we know that every time you buy a bike, the next year is better than the one you have, and we all get butthurt about it, and that's just the way it goes, right?
Unless you're
but the company
TLR,
was wanted us to be very sensitive to this and wanted us to be very careful about how we describe the new bike. And this is why for the last, 4 or 5 months, we really weren't allowed to say very much about the new bike. All right. Now with this week, today being the last day of EICMA, the cat's out of the bag, and we can finally talk about all this really cool stuff that we would just have to say before. Oh, by the way, there's a whole bunch of really cool stuff coming. Can't tell you about it. Right. So now I can talk openly about it, which is really cool.
I feel like it's an exclusive.
Right?
Here on Motorcycles and Misfits.
It is.
You've heard it here first.
The first Verge U.S. media event after the announcement at EICMA. It is.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, there's always the risk of Osborne affecting yourself.
So, correct.
Liza.
I wanted to just quickly also point out something that Verge is doing differently. And I don't know if it's Verge or just Verge USA, Rob, but the way that you are selling these is interesting.
It is.
Where, if you want to go into it, I mean, usually you go to a motorcycle shop to go look at bikes, to sit on them, and pick one to buy that's already there. Tell us about the process. Do you have dealerships across the United States?
So we have showrooms. They're not really dealerships, or at least not yet. We have showrooms. We have one, obviously, in San Jose at Westfield Valley Fair. We have another one at Westfield Century City, and our newest location at the iconic Bike Shed in downtown Los Angeles in the Arts District, right? And what we do is, primarily, we are educating people that have questions and offering test rides. And then if somebody is interested in a purchase, we take a very small deposit to secure their place in line for manufacturing. And that deposit's only $100.
So the reason this interests me, Emma, we've talked a lot about the industry and how it's struggling.
Right.
How dealerships have to buy so many bikes and sit on the on the inventory, and it's hard. It's hard. And I've wondered when that's going to change. And I'm wondering if this is a model that they're setting up that might be something to see more of.
Just hang on.
But having these showrooms and test rides.
I'm going to put the brakes on this. Okay, so who fixes one when it's broken? Because LA is a very long way from Helsinki.
It is very far. So the program that we already have in place in Europe is mobile service. Because honestly, even though it's a very advanced bike, it's very simple to work on. So we have teams in vans, and when somebody does have an issue, they just go to where the bike is and they service it on the spot.
I have tire changes also?
Yes.
I have a far better idea for America.
Yeah.
Is this unsolicited advice?
It absolutely is.
Let's hear it.
A far better idea for America, because America geographically is huge compared to Europe, is you find little independent shops and you train them how to fix these bikes. And then you have a network of independents that are known that if you own...
In other words, we would certify them.
You would certify an independent shop, so if you break your Verge, you can call an independent shop and get it fixed.
That's
can I give you an example?
I think it's a pretty marvelous idea.
Where do you take your Vincent Black Shadow to get fixed right now, Rob? Are there any dealers?
My garage.
No, but...
No, there are no dealers.
But are there mechanics who are certified to work on that? There's one next to you.
Yeah, there are. Yeah.
There's one sitting next to you.
I am actually one of the few certified Vincent Black Shadow mechanics in California. Yeah, I'm on the...
I am continually impressed by this.
I am on the Vincent approved list of repairers. I'm on the Honda CBX list of approved repairers. And I'm on the Brough Inferior. I've got to stop calling them that.
And you can drive a Greyhound bus.
And I know how to drive a stick shift Greyhound bus as well.
Quite the pedigree.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but I think by choosing independent shops, that's going to give both the shop and Verge themselves the flexibility. And yes, you can have a fleet of vans and they're going to look very, very nice and shiny.
They do.
But when you get into the more rural areas, I guarantee you there's tons of mom and pop shops that are still thriving.
And this would also give those shops the opportunity to get into the EV market.
Right. Now, I had a very, very similar conversation with Richard Hatfield of Lightning.
Okay.
And I'm doing the same basic thing. And I'm working on becoming an approved repairer for Lightning, because once again, they're not doing the dealership thing. They're doing, independent. Zero, they're more interesting. They're not sure what they want to do right now.
Right. And we used to have a great place to service a Zero in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And they sold a variety of,
Yeah.
and they went away last year, and it was a bummer.
Yes.
I have another great business idea.
Go on.
I think we should go into the fiberglass hook business.
I was going to ask if that came with the certification.
So just to quantify this, Rob, so you know what's happening.
All right.
We know a number of Harley Davidson dealerships.
Yeah.
And some of them took on the Livewire franchise.
Yes.
And this was when Harley Davidson really were incorporating Livewire. Now they're doing a standalone brand.
Right.
And my favorite part, because when you took on the Livewire franchise, you had to buy the whole thing, and you bought all the tools and everything.
And by the way, I used to work for Livewire.
Right. So you will know my favorite part of that kit was the 9-foot-long boat hook. So if your mechanic was being electrocuted by the Livewire, you could hook him and pull him off the bike.
Well, all those mom and pop shops are going to need a hook.
The sad reality of
they might have one already.
DC power is that once it happens, it's already too late.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out,
because it don't let go.
I'd like to point out we can bundle the traction control adult diapers with the hook.
Oh my gosh. There's all sorts of possibilities.
But I mean,
skid mark brand adult diapers.
This is.
It would help the
be
entire evolution of the industry.
I feel
as it moves towards electric mobility.
Let's go in there,
right?
Yeah, and this is clearly a high-end motorcycle.
Yeah. And I will tell you this as well. I have performed many, many routine services on these bikes as things happen to them, because, we put them in the hands of people that never ridden them. They get dropped, and right, I'll do all of that. But when it comes to something with the EV portion of the bike, I have made it very clear to the company, I'm not going to touch that, right? Somebody certified has to do that. And that means currently somebody from Finland, right? So the mobile service, as soon as bikes begin to get delivered, then we'll have that aspect here. And I kind of agree with you. I think there should be no reason for that not to evolve into independent shops in other places outside of major metro areas.
Yeah,
right, exactly. And from my shop's perspective, if I had a Verge show up, I'd be comfortable doing any chassis service on that bike, except pulling the rear wheel.
It's actually not that bad.
but I don't know the correct technique.
Right, exactly.
So really, for entry-level service, this is how you do the brakes, this is how you do the fork seals, this is how you do the steering head bearings, this is how you pull the rear wheel and do the rear rotor or caliper or change the tire. This is how you jack up the bike.
Yeah.
You could do this.
Yes,
you could
absolutely.
do a training course in 2 hours.
Probably, yes.
And then certify the independent shop. And then when you buy the Verge, you get the list of all the shops that are prepared to work on it.
Yep.
And just like you said, if the motor goes on the fritz or the controller goes on the fritz, or indeed the batteries do, now it's time for the shiny Verge bam.
That makes very good sense. I've also asked just 2 days ago if I could train some of the personnel here in the Bay Area to do the routine maintenance that I've been doing, because currently I travel up here to do it, and it's inefficient. Right, there should be somebody here as well that can do that. And
because
this is just
routine maintenance is not hard.
Bikes.
Whenever I deal with a bike, I always look at it in terms of serviceability. And I saw nothing that really scared me to death on that Verge. It's all very, very straightforward, nice components.
Yep.
I mean, Öhlins have a very certain way of building their forks. Brembo have a very certain way of building their brakes. So there's nothing particularly different about it.
Right, or scary.
But there are specialist things. Where do you jack it up? Where is it safe to jack?
Right.
Where is it not? Where do you slide your pallet under
Right.
to wind it up? And how do you get that damn back wheel out?
Yeah.
And these are not. And these are not.
No.
So it's interesting that you asked this. We loaned. Are you familiar with the Mark Travels blog?
No.
He's a video blogger, and he had a TS Pro. He's from Germany. He rode it all over Europe for several months. He rode it all the way to the ABR festival in Great Britain.
Mm-hmm.
Along the way, he took a pressure washer to the bike and got way too close to the motor and got some water in there. And the motor didn't fail. It just wouldn't go. And so they sent a van out.
How is that not failing?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure that when the water was evacuated, the motor was fine. But this was kind of a chance for Verge to step up and go, watch what we can do. And so they drove a van out to him. They looked at the bike and they said, yeah, we're just going to change the motor. They rolled the bike into the van, and within 2 hours, they're like, here you go. You're ready to go. Right. So it's really not a large process. I've also seen an engineer from Finland come. We needed to do a brake bleed on the rear circuit, and the high voltage cables run the same path. And so we needed to get them out of the way. And now right away, I was like, I'm standing back. And as he opened up the chassis, there's like a single bolted lug that holds all three of those cables into where they need to go, and 2 bolts, and it was out. And now the entire thing was safe. And now it's just a simple matter of taking 4 bolts out of the swing arm and the motor comes right out. It's really not complicated. So I was impressed to see that as well.
Right. And the big problem you're going to encounter is not the serviceability of the bike. It's the real estate of
Yes.
America. The only country I think that would be worse is Australia.
Right?
Because I guarantee if you start selling those things in Australia, there's going to be one clown in Alice Springs who buys one.
And by the way, our head of U.S. sales is from Australia.
Right. So there's going to be one owner in Alice Springs.
Yep.
And, you're going to have to, it's a 3-day journey to get to him. So that's my unsolicited advice.
Yep.
I have another line of question. Hey, Rob, just curious, what's top speed? What's
So,
the potential top speed?
The TS Pro is currently limited by software at 124 miles per hour.
Oh, come on.
What if we hack it?
However, the bike is easily capable of more than 200 horsepower and more than 200 miles per hour.
Well, those
Has it been tested?
The TS Ultra that is currently in production is already advertising those numbers.
Is it possible that you might like to have it tested next summer at Bonneville?
The big question. So we expect the TS Ultra to come out in either Q3 or Q4 of 2026. So the timing might not be right. It might have to be the next season, but I certainly think it's possible. And again, this is something that if you go to the Verge website, there's places where you can ask questions and send emails and talk to the people. And I think if enough people pestered them, I'm sure they would be willing to give it a try.
Well, here's the deal. We happen to have a land speed racer in our studio right now.
Yeah.
Be me.
That would be Louisa,
Mhm.
who's already been over 200 miles an hour on a bike. And do you know what the current record is for a production electric motorcycle?
I do not.
Well, it's in the name. It is 218. Set by
Lightning.
Lightning.
The LS218.
Now, is that really a production motorcycle?
That
It is a limited
so-
production motorcycle again.
So it was
for-
not a prototype.
No.
It's not a prototype. There are not
We've
many
seen multiples.
LS218s, but there are multiples of them.
Well, that gives us a goal,
I think that might be low-hanging fruit.
right? So the more short-term goal, and we talked about this already, we want to do an iron butt on the TS Pro,
Yeah,
right?
we know
I
who can do
volunteer as
that.
tribute.
Wendy Crockett, I've talked to her a couple of times.
Sorry, Bagel.
Oh.
I've already gotten in there.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So it has been done on an electric bike before. All right. And I'm sure there's someone here that can tell us all about that. And that was in 2014, I believe, correct?
I think Electric Terry.
Yeah, I think so.
So that was a modified Zero, heavily modified.
Yeah.
Extra batteries strapped on there,
And-
extra stuff, a big aerodynamic body.
Yeah.
So in other words, that wasn't a production bike.
Right.
We think the TS Pro can do an iron butt bone stock, and we want to try. But what I told Wendy was, let's wait until we get the US model. All right. I think we could do it on the current bikes that we rode today. But if we're going to show something off, let's show off the new bike.
Right.
Right. And so I also want to plan a very good route. Obviously, we don't want to go up into the mountains and a whole bunch of hill climbs and stuff like that. It would be, Arizona, probably flat ground. I would like to find fast charging stations that are something like 120 miles apart and go back and forth between them until we hit the number. If we can certify a route like that. I'm not sure about that. I'm not a member of the IBA, so we have to talk to them about it. But yeah, I think that would really set this bike apart from any other electric bike. Because honestly, no other electric bike I don't think could do this.
I have the ultimate proposal for you.
Here it comes.
Wendy does an iron butt, rides the bike to Bonneville, passes it on to Louisa, who sets a land speed record.
Well, we have to wait for the Ultra to do that, or we'd have to wait for a software
release
that would allow the TS Pro to.
I'm just saying, that's pretty cool, isn't it? A bike
That's a cool idea.
That would be huge.
Yeah.
Break two records, one in distance, one in speed.
And I suggest you make the suggestion to the engineers in Finland that you do attachment points for a sidecar. And we'll do multiple land speed records at Bonneville.
Now there's an idea.
If you want to do some records, there you go.
Oh, Bagel,
you know
will you
what?
be the
I
monkey?
just thought of something. If we had a sidecar on a TS Pro that had an extra battery pack in it, we could do some amazing things.
I like it. Liza's got an old ironing board in the shed. We'll strap to it.
I have the Benelli
Good
sidecar.
Lord, no.
All right, you guys are going to get me in trouble with all this stuff. So for now, 124 miles an hour.
We know a guy who knows a thing or two about streamliners.
Right?
Say that again, Bagel?
I said we know a guy who knows a thing or two about streamliners.
Right? I saw a really interesting one today.
Alan rolled up today.
Alan. So Alan's part of an interesting group that was really got its start with Craig Vetter, the fairing guy. And Craig has really devoted his life in engineering to getting more from less. And the last few years of his life, he's really devoted to max miling. And so his group and they really are boffins, absolute wackadoos.
You met many of them today.
Yeah, some are electric powered, some are gasoline powered. Apparently, one of the favorite engines for gasoline powered is a little 250 Ninja.
Yeah. And
then by means of very efficient streamlining, see how far you can go on a gallon of gas. I mean, well north of 200 miles. Well north.
Wow.
And of course, from an electric standpoint, because you're using so much less energy to get you a distance, your range is increased. There are disadvantages to riding such a fully fed bike. Unfortunately, dear Craig did pay the ultimate price for it. And he wrecked one and gave himself quite a bit of brain damage, unfortunately.
Although, to be fair, that was the fault of the deer, not the aerodynamics so much.
Well, I'm sure the deer was all cut up about it, But
I like venison.
Well, Rob, I just want to leave that one out there, and I'd love to stay in touch with you because this is something that we could help make happen, and we're going to be at Bonneville already.
Well, I do have I've built a reputation in the company of being an absolute pest, and I'll pester him about it and see what happens.
Well, and we can just partner it by having women riders who are also part of the Women Riders World Relay,
right?
Which we will be leading the
Who are they?
Parade lap at Isle of Man,
Who are the Women
I'm just
Rider
saying,
World Relay people?
The whole name of the game here is to get publicity.
Right.
and putting women on the bike helps to get that
Shameless
attention.
publicity for you and the bike.
Right.
Shameless. Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Well, I wanted to talk real quick just about the event today we had.
Oh, it was so much fun
also,
today.
thank you for coming out, Rob,
Yeah.
and for taking a chance. Because when I met you, and I'm like, hey, why don't you let's do an event? And first I started, let's take the Misfits up over to San Jose and do some test rides. He's like, well, we don't really have enough bikes for everyone. I'm like, I got an idea. Why don't you come to us?
Yeah.
And
It was like a real test ride. Normally, bikes just show up. We hop on one, take off for a little while.
Yeah.
And come
Yeah,
back,
right.
but
Yeah.
we had this. It was
So
like,
we've
Pan
done a lot of
Americas.
events. We've done big events, small events. A good example, Electrify Expo in San Pedro was huge. We had a line 2 days solid, people wanting to get on the bike, and we went nonstop. We probably rode somewhere between 80 and 90 customers, and by the way, didn't need to charge all weekend.
yeah.
We were right next to Can-Am, and I will say I rode their bikes.
Oh, right.
They are nice. They are really, really nice bikes, but they only have about 60 miles of range, right? And they had to stop middle of the day, both days, charge up for a couple hours, and also charge overnight. All right. We were worried about it. We brought a charger with us and only topped off one bike. And just because we thought, well, maybe we should. And we really didn't need to. We did that whole weekend without having to get charged. But that event was all about exposure, and there was no personal aspect to it. Today's event, we all are part of the same community, and we had like a personal connection. I know a bunch of the people that came. Several people that came to ride the bike were people that I had trained previously, and it was great to see them.
Hector was here.
Yeah. And also yesterday, I was in the Valley Fair store, and 2 people came in that I had trained as adventure riders as well from years ago and from several different places. And one of them I also trained at the 49er rally this year.
So this is why at the very, very beginning of the show, it seems like a long time ago now,
Right.
doesn't it? I was so keen to make sure that people know who you are.
Yeah,
So
it
you're
felt
not just
really good.
faceless guy
Right.
who's like suddenly got into bikes
Yeah.
and then tra-la-la.
And by the way, the whole vibe was better here just because of where we are. Nobody listening to this podcast can see this facility. I didn't even want to call it a facility. It's a home, right? And it's not just the inside of this house, but the garage areas. As soon as I walked in there and I was worried about whacking my head on that big timber and
mean
seeing
dildo?
all this stuff. Yeah, right. And the dead possum hanging from the ceiling and all the tools everywhere and people working on bikes. I'm like, oh, I'm at home here. I'm really at home.
I was a bit worried because I'm like, come on down. I got a garage, which kind of insinuated it's a real
No,
garage.
it reminded me of my garage. There's piles of tools everywhere, right? Piles of parts. I have a 63 BMW R50 that's in the back of my garage, completely disassembled, ready to get put back together. I just haven't got to it yet, right? And this is the kind of stuff that I'm seeing here. I'm like, oh, there's projects everywhere here.
Right.
I just love this place. I can smell oil.
Yeah.
The mantra of the garage has always been the same since day one. Everyone is welcome here. Just shut up and be cool.
Yeah,
That's all you got to do.
exactly.
Just shut and be cool.
Well, and the thing that I appreciate you coming out because when you just show up, it's just some Costco carport out in the back of somebody's parking lot.
Right.
You know, it doesn't look like much. And Louisa was helping me this morning. We were having to unload all the gear and get everything set up. When these guys showed up, I'm like, trust me, this is going to transform.
Right.
And you put out some chairs and you put out some tables and you
cook hot dogs.
Cook some hot dogs, but then all the people show up and the
Yeah.
bikes and the array of bikes that show up. And that's what makes the Recycle Garage such a special
Yes,
thing.
exactly.
Right. The value of the garage has always been and will always be in the people themselves.
Yep, it's all about the people. And that's why this event was so fun for us today, right? So the Electrify Expo, great event, great exposure, but kind of impersonal and sort of faceless, right? Or at least from us, right? I didn't know a single person that got on those bikes that weekend, right? And they did another one up here in San Francisco recently as well. This was like, oh, I see familiar faces and people that I've either known online and never met, or I have met or have taken part in my training. And so it was like a homey feel.
Good.
And the scenery on the ride was spectacular.
Oh, Westcliff Drive's great.
Yeah, it was great.
Not so bad.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
go-
yeah.
Not often you can ride and whale watch at the
Yeah.
same time.
Right?
And I wanted to give a big thanks to Neal, who I was kind of assigning jobs to people all day. But Neal, I'm like, Neal, your job is to park all the bikes at Shub. Tell them where to go.
Yeah, I got voluntold.
Neal, how many bikes do you think we had pull in today? And when you look at the parking space, we really have got 4. It's like 4 parking spaces.
Right. So,
You know?
so in the garage area itself, probably around 30.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Wow.
It
And
was
then
it
plus
was
some
heaving
overflow
when I
parking
showed
on
up.
the street. So,
Right.
as many as 40.
Yeah.
And I don't have any idea roughly how many people did ride a Verge today.
I think you went out about maybe 5 or 6 times.
Right.
Oh, more than that.
Let's see.
I think you did 2 an hour for 4
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah, that sounds
And then we
about
went
right.
overtime.
Well, if you did 2 an hour and it was 4 hours, so that's 8 times 4 is 6.
Go ahead, do that math. Go ahead, Emma.
Yeah, about
8 times
32.
4, 32.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In mid-30s.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere between 25 and 30, I
Which
would guess.
dovetails in with the 30 bikes.
Yeah.
I have a confession.
Yeah.
I nearly dropped my bike.
No, your Suzuki?
No, the Verge.
Okay. That's fine.
I got very close to dropping it, and I shall tell you where I did it because you were leading. When we got to the very, very end of the ride on Natural Bridges,
Okay.
and we zipped down Natural Bridges Road, with
Yeah.
Yeah.
stupid power,
Yeah.
and then we kind of do a little
The goofy turnaround.
left and right,
Yeah.
and I was up against the lock.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't turn that well. It hasn't got much of a lock on
Right.
it. And I was up and I was, oh, shit.
Yeah.
And I just held it, and it would have been so embarrassing
Gets heavy fast.
to be underneath that.
It happens. It's happened several times.
Yeah, but nevertheless, I mean, it's a typical, in a lot of ways, it's a typical big bike because if you're going to drop it, you're going to drop it at low speed.
I wanted to take a moment and give all the people in the room a chance to share their experience. Louisa, this was the first time you've ridden an electric motorcycle.
Any kind, any brand.
I'd love to get your feedback. What did you think?
I felt like with the acceleration and the zero noise from the acceleration, I honestly felt like I was gliding like a bird along the road, and the acceleration just made me shriek and howl. I don't know if you could hear me.
Gibbering like
cackling.
a nut job.
Oh, it was just pure joy.
We've
pure
ruined
joy.
you for all other electric bikes.
Well,
I know.
I like the fact that we could heckle each other.
I know. We were having fun, weren't we, at the back there?
Yeah, we were heckling
so
each
how many
other.
times have you tried to reach the back brake with your foot, So like, oh, gosh. And that is not the clutch. That's the brake on the left. So, so that was great. The only thing would be, and I guess that's down to the thickness of the back tire, just I didn't feel like I was a corner. I could keep a line steady. I had to kind of keep correcting.
To keep pushing.
Yeah. So it was
bar.
different. And I'm sure that I would adapt to it if I spent some time on
It took me a few rides.
Yeah. But honestly, once I'd ridden it once, the price tag didn't seem that unrealistic anymore.
Right.
I just thought, wow, this is something special.
For you, it is a brand new experience without engine sound and vibrations, and you're just feeling the ride.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was a beautiful run, by the sea, see the pelicans, and I'm a fan. Yeah, so I would definitely sing the praises of it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. John, what did you think? How did you like the riding position, the power?
Yeah. So this is only my third electric ride. So I'm a newbie to the whole thing. The power is incredible. One thing I did like switching between the modes. Each mode definitely had its own reason to live.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
which one did you like?
Well, I mean, beast mode is great,
right?
Of course, but I think the functional one is probably the Zen mode.
Yeah.
That felt the best, and I did like the custom setup that you had where there was no regeneration.
Right.
That made it feel a little more like what I'm used to.
Sure.
But yeah, the power was great. So in terms of the seating position, it was a little forward for me.
Okay.
So I'm carrying a little more in front. So
Did you try both pegs?
No, I only tried the rear ones.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I never tried the front ones. But that's fine. I think what everybody else said about the steering is correct. I think I would get used to it, but it felt a little rear end heavy.
Right.
Going into turns, so it was a little bit like, oh, okay, is the front end going to skirt around here, or is it going to stick? And it stuck.
Yeah, it sticks.
But opening it up was a blast.
Right.
Yeah.
So Forbes did an article a couple of months ago, and they described the acceleration as eyeball flattening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the term I like using.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah. So, Emma, how about you?
So, as always, there's a little story that comes with this. I used to train people how to drive Greyhound buses.
Oh, really?
And we'd spend the day driving, and we'd have an experience with passengers, and I'd say, now, is there anything about today that annoyed you, that bugged you? And they'd come up with something like the passengers or traffic or whatever. And I'd say, let it go. The one thing in your life, let it go. Because when you repeat that 100 times, it's going to drive you bananas.
That's a good point.
Now, I have to say I'm a huge fan of this bike. It's enormously fun to ride. The handling, as different as it was, I could get used to. And I love the attention of the bike. I love the attention of the detail of the bike. I mean, I truly think if you want to ride the future, this is it. But we're going to come to the annoyance.
Here it comes.
And my bike, every time I pulled away, it mooed like a cow.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I could feel the vibration.
Yeah, that's
And
that's
as
the motor
trivial,
Right.
and as trivial as that is, and the reason I told you that little story,
Yeah.
that would spoil my $30,000 bike experience.
So I'm glad you brought that up. So that happens right between 7 and 10 miles per hour.
Yes.
And it goes right up through your nethers into
It goes
your spine,
everywhere.
right?
You can feel it. You
Yes.
can hear it. Your bike, I wasn't sure whether it was a dyspeptic calf, a full-on cow mooing, or a goose.
Well,
But-
there is good news. The engineers have told us that they have mitigated that issue tremendously.
That would make the bike 1,000,000 times more pleasant, because
I will bring a brand new 2026 US spec bike to you specifically to show you that.
I would love to, because I'm not saying it spoiled the experience,
Yeah.
but if you've just dropped 35 large on a bike, that trivial little thing, when you've done it, because it's going to do it every time you pull away,
Yes.
it's going to become it's going to stop being a trivial thing, and it's going to become a big thing.
Oh, one writer asked us if we could make that happen through the entire rev range.
Well, I'm sure they loved it.
Right.
Maybe they got pet cows at
Right.
home, and it made them feel at home.
It's kind of exciting.
Yeah, but
It's the massage function.
I know the massage was okay.
My-
I like that
my
little taint.
I agree with you. I agree with
my interpretation of an electric motorcycle, especially a high-end electric
Yeah.
motorcycle, it is silent, it is
Right.
smooth, it's effortless power. And when your bike is mooing at you and shaking,
Yes.
it was very incongruous with the rest of the bike, because it is so uncommonly silent
Right.
and it's so uncommonly smooth everywhere else. It's like the big red bap, 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 bap.
And it's a product of the phasing of the motor,
Right.
right? And that has the motor is almost entirely new for the 2026 bikes. It's narrower, it's 50% lighter, And what they have told us, and I haven't got on one yet,
Less
so
moo.
I'm not speaking from experience here, but they said that problem is no longer a problem.
I can see the ad.
So it's
The new model, 20% less
Right.
move.
Right.
For you.
To err is human, to verge bovine.
But I want to make it absolutely clear, Rob, from a rider standpoint, and as somebody who's been riding for a very, very long time, like a lot of people in this room,
Right.
and from a mechanic standpoint, I think it's an absolutely bloody marvelous machine.
Right.
I really
do.
do. And it is probably by far my favorite electric bike I've ridden
I'm
thus far.
so happy to hear you say that.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it is mine too. And again, I worked for Livewire, and I love those bikes. I truly do. The major drawback for me was the range, because I want to take
Right.
my motorcycle on a
Yeah.
trip. I don't want to just go around town. I don't want to commute only.
The Livewire I enjoyed, the Energica I enjoyed as well, because it's every inch the Italian experience. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of vibration everywhere.
Right.
And I think the problem with your bike is because it becomes so silent and smooth elsewhere
Yes.
that you focus on that little
That
area.
one little 1.5 seconds of
But it's
Yep.
every time.
every single
Um,
time. Yes.
The Energica, there's vibration,
I'm going to
there's
stand
noise.
up and defend the mooing.
Wait, so you
I'll
wanted
come
to give
to
us
that.
your experience, Neal?
Sure, yeah. So the mooing reminded me to put my feet down.
Oh, there's a
Yeah, I
point.
you can turn around and say, yes, it's a trigger for doing something else. But I guarantee you, Neal, and I guarantee Jim, and I guarantee
No,
Louisa,
I know
and John,
I know it's a
and
value
Liza.
perception issue.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it would drive you bananas after the 1,000th
well, I'm a
time.
weirdo and I'm into the technology and I know what the motor is doing and why.
Exactly.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of geeky.
It's a growing pain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my experience is, similar to what we've talked about. The rear tire makes the bike want to dive into corners. You have to continuously give input to keep it on your line. And you adapt to it, and that's and get used to that. I'm very glad that it has traction control and that it's so effective, because I could actually feel as I pinned it a couple of times, and I could feel it as it hit that threshold at 45 where it was just starting to really accelerate harder.
Yeah.
So I could feel it doing its job. I would put more substantial foot pegs on it.
I would too.
Yeah, I think
And that's another one that I've been a pest about.
I mentioned it. It looks like they forgot to put foot pegs on it. Oh, wait, well, let's just go grab something and throw it on.
Right.
Yeah.
It looked like an afterthought.
And while you're at it, put the rear brake on the normal position.
Well, didn't you say
Yes.
that's a
Yes,
feature for the
so-
26?
Exactly.
It's got a rear
and
brake
that's
and a
because
handbrake.
that's a law here in the States.
Mm.
Right. So since
Mhm.
1972, all the controls on a bike sold as new have to be in the same place.
Did we just break the law?
No.
Breaking the law. Breaking the law.
But that doesn't mean you can't have additional controls. So as long as you have your primary controls where they're supposed to be, you can have additional controls as well. And the decision was made to add a foot brake to a right foot peg, but also to retain the left lever so that the rider can choose how to use the rear brake.
Interesting.
What's nice about having that lever is I'm always used to having like covering the brake and covering the clutch. And so I was terrified of using the left lever, right?
I
So I'm
had
like,
to be
because I
very
wanted to just
mindful
death
about
grip that left
It's
handle.
not a clutch.
But it's nice to have a lever to rest your fingers on, just to have a good
I
grip on the
had
brake.
to keep reminding myself. I would suggest, if you're going to do that, delete the lever off there. Because
Interesting.
it's too confusing for riders who
Not for
Right.
scooter riders.
That's true.
I was going to
Right.
say, if you're used to riding an automatic scooter, it's that's
It's easy
nothing.
to
It's
adapt.
completely
Sure.
natural. But you can also, if that lever really bothers you, you could just take it off, right? And just,
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a one
There
bolt
you go.
fix.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go. Leave it for the others, Neal.
Yeah.
Jim, what did you think of it?
Well, a couple of things I really liked about it.
Your
A is-
eyeballs look flat.
is well, it's the futuristic look. It's like the Akira bike came to life, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
it's just the technology really I like a lot. Now it doesn't really have a place in my life at the moment. You know, if I had the money, it would be kind of my like, I'm going to ride up to Alice's and everybody can check out my bike, or I'm going to cruise around town and turn heads. It would be that
I'd
kind
commute
of a
on
thing.
that sucker.
Yeah. You know,
Seriously.
I like my Suzuki sport bike. You know, I do love the internal combustion engines. I do like the whole tech about shifting. But that aside, what I thought what I liked was the adjustability of the controls. So it had the 3 modes you could ride in, like the Eco mode, I think it was, then the Zen, which is like a regular kind of thing, and then the Beast one. But what was fun is you had it in a custom setting, which was the least amount of power and the least amount of braking.
Right.
And where I really enjoyed it is on Westcliff, is you could just cruise, one hand on the handlebar. It wasn't trying to pull you off the bike when you accelerated, but when you rolled off it, you just kind of coasted.
Just
it
kept
was a lot
going.
of fun. So for me, I think it would be a lot of fun to customize the power delivery.
Yes.
Can you come up with more than just one custom mode if you wanted to?
So well, right now there's the one custom mode, but there's a lot that you can configure in there. You can adjust the level of traction control, the level of torque, the level of regenerative braking, and also the top speed. All those things are configurable in that mode.
So how do you configure it as a consumer? Do you plug in your phone or do you plug in your laptop?
No, right from that main display.
From the main display?
Yep, there's a little icon just like on your phone for settings. You go there, and the very top of the list says custom mode. You touch that, and then there's sliders and buttons, and you just set it up however you want.
So had we have had more time,
yes, we could have played around with it.
We could have put it in custom mode and put maximum power, minimum ABS and traction control, and just given it to somebody and say, try it.
But I think that would be fun to explore the adjustability and all that.
And when I ride one, if I have it for a few days, I build a custom mode that has full power, because I don't necessarily have to use it, right? And it comes on very smoothly. So I set it for full power. I set the regenerative braking to the same level as Zen mode, which is low.
Yeah, I could see super appealing.
And it's a really joyous ride.
Right.
Like that,
I could see it'd be the sweet spot.
You can never have too much power.
Right.
Jim and me are lucky enough that we both have enormously powerful large Suzuki motorcycles. Not the 850. That is not a powerful bike. But the other one I have, and they're a very, very good match.
They do look good together, too.
And they look so good together. But the point is thus, just because we have all this power at our disposal, it's just nice to have. And it makes the riding experience, certainly we're together. The level of technology on your GT is probably far superior to any other internal combustion touring bike you can buy right now.
It has the same 6-axis IMU. It's a Bosch
It's got an
unit.
amazing amount of technology on that bike. It's a very, very clever bike indeed.
So with the Verge compare like the adjustability of all those factors, it's almost like what you hear the new BMW S1000 bikes, right? They have that, like it's almost impossible to high side because you can play. There's so much stuff you can play.
And our traction control is far more accurate than most bikes, because instead of having the typical rear wheel speed sensor,
the chopper,
we're taking our cues from the motor controller, which is a much higher resolution, and so it's very, very accurate traction control.
Now, we are going to have to stop wrapping this up. Bagel, I'm going to finish with you. You didn't ride the bike, however. Unfortunately, as a scooter rider, do you see yourself as a potential customer of one of these?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Not just because I'm a scooter rider, but also because I'm an EV enthusiast, and this sounds like a fantastic bike. I love the power, the range, the capacity. I really would love to have a chance to give this a try sometime. I don't suppose there's going to be any opportunities to do that here in Oregon coming up in the coming months with the winter coming on. But I'd love to take a ride.
Well, hopefully we can persuade Rob to take some up to the one show next
yeah.
spring.
Oh, that's not a bad
Oh.
idea.
And give test rides to traditional motorcyclists
Yeah.
and see what they make of it. Now,
Yeah.
look, unfortunately, I wish.
And we did have 2 bikes today at the Love Ride
There you
in
go.
Los Angeles.
And hey, I want to say, speaking of the one show, they did announce their dates. They are going to be
Still at the Zidell?
not sure,
Right.
but they are going to be May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
There you go.
Put it on your
Tra-la-la.
calendar.
Wow.
May 1st, 2nd, and
And
3rd.
of
Mark
course,
it down.
we're going to be there, as we always are. And I always try and make sure that Misfits, we don't just show up, we participate in the show. So expect a bike or two, expect the Misfits Gorilla Lounge.
Yeah. Well, I'll
As
be there.
it's done in the past. Now, look, I would love to talk about this all night, but we are up against the wire time-wise. Rob, thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having us here. And this all started off with just a sit-down dinner at
Yeah.
Horizons Unlimited.
Was the,
sit
dinner,
over there.
was the dinner any good?
Nice.
Oh, it's fantastic.
There
Their
you
food
go.
is always good. Yeah.
So, Rob, this is your chance to get your final plugs in. How people can find out more, where they can go for test rides. All
So
that
you can
good
go
stuff.
to, and I'm glad you brought this up because there's one point that I did want to offer. So if you go to vergemotorcycles.com, you can see a like a bike configurator. You can pick your colors and your seat and your suspension and all that. And there's also a button for booking a test ride. So right now we only have 3 locations here in California. But when you do go to that button, there's also a field for saying, where do you think we should come next?
Ooh,
and
Bagel's
so-
already typing.
Right. And so we can go to that, and that data will tell us, where do people really want us to bring some bikes for them to ride? Right. And that's how this whole ball is going to get rolling.
Velveeta, Oregon.
Where Bagel is the mayor.
And I will take the cheese-colored one, please.
Right.
Yes, very
well,
good.
thank you so much. And you had a special thing if somebody's interested in a bike. You said the deposit. It's not very much, is it?
It's $100 and it's fully refundable.
Will
And-
I be a VIP?
Yes,
Ah.
absolutely. So that $100 deposit also qualifies you for what we call the VIP rides. And that means you just call them up and say, hey, I have a deposit. I want to go for a VIP ride. And they schedule it based on your schedule, right? It's not like we have a set schedule of these things, right? And then you're going to spend the better part of a day on the bikes. So in the Bay Area, they're planning to take riders to Alice's restaurant. All right. In the LA area, we have a few more options. Some people wanted to go to the Rock Store. Some people wanted to go to Neptune's Net.
Yeah.
Some wanted to go. The last 2 that I did, we went up to Mount Wilson. So there's we actually had one VIP ride. He said, I want to go to the bike shed before we had a location there. Right. And now it's like, well, we're already here. Let's go somewhere else. Right.
And it'd actually be pretty cool riding one up Mount Munham, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
It'd be hard work.
Mm.
Well, I think it's very
Or
cool.
Mount Hamilton.
Yeah.
That would be
And-
work.
You guys were just at EICMA making
Yes.
these big announcements, and a lot of stuff has been coming out of EICMA. I just wanted to kind of go over real quick. We each had some things I think that stuck out. For me, it was, I just got this
Yes.
Ibex 450, and I was like, it's
I love
the
that
only
bike.
thing in the market, right? I think it's a perfect sweet spot.
Yeah, you
And then-
you
and
quite
then-
enjoyed it, didn't you, Rob?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. So previous to riding that bike, I had also rode the new Royal Enfield Himalayan
Right?
and was very impressed with that bike as well. But it only took 1 or 2 rides on a buddy of mine, a guy that I served in the Coast Guard with, George Bruton. Hey, George, are you out there? He bought one and he brought it to the Tennessee Motorcycles and Music Revival where I was working for Harley Davidson and the Pan America. And I got to get on that bike and I really liked it. So I got to ride it again today. And I still like the Himalayan, but these 2 bikes are now filling that sweet spot, the 450 class. Now there's a KLE from Kawasaki.
And
there's something
now-
else coming.
They announced at EICMA the new BMW GS
The
450.
GS 450, yes, which has been a rumor for a couple of years.
Right. And then
Right.
I think there was even a Ducati dirt bike.
Well,
that's
it's been
in that-
it's been out, but
Yeah.
they sort of let you have access to it there.
Well, here's a wild card. There's the new Norton Atlas. Is a 585cc twin.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and get this, and hot off.
Oh, I saw a picture of that
Yeah.
bike. It looks really good.
Yeah.
And hot off the press, I think unveiled yesterday is the BSA Thunderbolt,
Yeah.
which
Yep,
is
yep.
a bright yellow adventure bike.
Yes, I
Yeah.
saw that as well.
Um,
EICMA was very exciting. And we had our head of U.S. sales, JJ, we call him, Joseph James, and also head of U.S. sales for Europe and the U.K., Spencer Cutland. They were both there. They must have shook thousands of hands and have been posting videos. And of course, the one that I laughed the most about is because now with the narrower motor, you see a whole lot of carbon fiber back there. And there was person after person after person bending down to stare at that carbon fiber, and the backing track was just somebody saying carbon fiber, carbon fiber, carbon fiber. Right? It was hilarious, and I loved it. So I've shared that. If you guys follow me on socials, you'll see it there too. It was a really big event, and it was probably the greatest exposure that we've had since the inception of the company.
Did anyone else see anything?
Triumph 250 dirt bike.
yeah.
Did you guys see
Yeah,
the
and
the,
I can't wait
250
for the
hybrid?
Triumph to.
The Triumph dirt bikes are
I can't wait
wild.
for it to come out with
Yeah.
a plated model.
Right.
That might be on my
Ooh.
list.
So there was a hybrid 250. I can't remember the name of the company.
Is it a Chinese company?
Not sure, but it's a boxer motor.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
Chinese company.
And it's apparently has extraordinary specs for a 250.
But Emma, I think you have the biggest announcement.
I've got the biggest news of everything.
Okay.
So, Jim,
Yes.
here's a question for you.
Yes.
What is Emma's favorite brand of Japanese motorcycle?
Aside from Suzuki or just Suzuki?
Just Suzuki.
We know it's Suzuki.
And as you also know, I like eating as well.
Yes.
And my favorite thing to eat is curry.
Chips and curry.
Chips and curry. Suzuki have brought out their own range of Indian curry for the Japanese market only. And settle down. It's a complete range. They do 10 different curries. I would tell you what they are, but the packets are in Japanese.
You're kidding.
But you can buy a nice green one with a 650 on the thing. It covers the cars as
nice.
well, because Suzuki cars sell very well. But I just think it's absolutely fantastic.
Suzuki curry.
Suzuki are now in the curry.
I love that.
Not
Curry.
Now here's the burning question.
Suzuki.
Do they make a
Oh.
freeze-dried version for us adventure riders?
Well,
No.
this is the whole thing. It's
Oh.
freeze-dried boil in the bag. I have actually ordered some. It cost me $65 because stuff from Japan is quite expensive.
Wow.
I'm going to let you know what it's like.
No, Rob, the burning question is if Verge was to come out with its own dish,
It would be
what would it be?
rotten fish.
That's
Right, I was just going to say, right?
No, it's got to have a donut. It's got to have a donut component to it.
No.
Yeah, it does. It would have to be a donut of some sort. And,
Freeze-dried
I
donut?
think we could combine a donut with whatever the national dish of Finland is, which I have no idea.
It's
And-
rotten fish.
fish
I'm
donut.
sure.
Fermented shark.
So all of you probably met Pekka earlier today.
Yes.
He's our COO here in the U.S., and he's from Finland. And so I'll ask him, what's the national dish in Finland?
He was very pale. I don't think the sun shines much in Finland, does it? He looked like he needed some sun. What a lovely man, though.
He is a great guy.
All right.
Well, I'm ready for the
all
dinner party with that.
He's a material scientist by background.
And he's
Right.
clearly a rotten shark eater as well. Clearly. This is obviously what he eats every day. He probably has a shark buried in his back garden and he makes it own.
He is actually vegan.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
Well, thank God for that.
So, so speaking of Suzuki and EICMA, Suzuki showed their new SV650 descendant called the SV7GX,
Right.
Ooh.
which is based on the 650 V-twin.
Interesting.
Right.
Yeah,
Because,
so
they
it's-
finally
dropped the SV650 after how many years?
Is it too late? I wonder to really get that back. That 650.
They're done with it.
Yeah.
They're done with it. There was that.
No, but it had that buzz, that thunder. It was the best bang for your buck of a bike you can get.
It was so good that halfway through its run, it was replaced by the Gladius, if you
Right.
remember, which
Oh,
was
I
quite
do remember.
unfortunately
Yeah.
styled, but a bloody marvelous bike.
Yeah.
Mm.
But they said, no, we're going to bring the SV650 back.
Yeah.
And no, I mean, it's run its course.
Yeah, so the SV7GX is kind of what they call a crossover bike.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's basically a V-Strom, but maybe a little less sturdy.
Anything with the X in it is going to be.
Well, I'm sure we're going to be finding more and more stuff coming out of EICMA to talk about.
Are we doing emails now?
We got just 2. This one is a very short one, which is funny because this is from our friend Chris Comley. And he said, just listen to the episode with Alex and his diesel Harley. Yeah. And who was in the garage?
Alex.
Right.
In fact, I went out there because we're trying to wrap up. I'm trying to get everyone in. And I'm like, Emma, who let this guy... He had started a project like 10 minutes before we were closed. And I'm like, Emma, go get him. But yeah, Alex is still working on that Harley. But Chris says, hey, just so you know, Ted Kapling put a diesel engine from a smart car in a BMW and rode it in the 2023 Iron Butt Rally and finished.
Wow.
Nicely done.
And sent some pictures, which is interesting.
A contraption, no less. No, actually, this started off as a K-bike.
Really? Like the old flying brick K-bike?
Yeah.
Yep.
I had one of those. I still have one.
1100 Brickola.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense because...
There's a lot of real estate.
Yeah.
Well, of course, the K-bike engine is really a Peugeot.
Yeah,
it's a Peugeot.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I still have
on the wrong
my
side.
K75S, and it's the first year. It's a 92. It's the first year they had ABS on that bike.
And again, very old-fashioned ABS.
Yes, very
big cylinders on it.
Two big pumps, and I had the brain of that thing because they were notorious for failing.
Yes.
There was a gentleman in Japan that rebuilds them with very robust semiconductors so that it will never fail again. And it took about 2 months, and then I got it back. It was like $100 and something, but now it's rock solid.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
Tra-la-la.
And in response to our camping, we were talking about RV motorcycles.
Oh, God.
The
Last week.
AI images that we've all seen.
Yeah. Bagel, you have an email there to read?
I do. I have an email from Dave Hamby from Washougal Custom Classics.
Dave. And where is that?
Up in Washington.
Does he have an accent, Bagel?
Has a Washington accent, I guess.
Okay, how does that sound?
I don't really know. It sounds like just
sounds like a Northern Oregon accent.
Any accent in the world except for
halfway
Washington.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's got a Canadian accent.
Right.
Dave writes, what would this world look like if everything was logic? So boring. So, in the spirit of thinking outside the box, but also allowing the opportunity to have fun once you've arrived at your destination, here is my motorcycle camping idea.
Okay.
Using your bike of choice, preferably over 1,000 cc's, build yourself a camp trailer using a detachable trike kit. This would enable you to back into the unit, slide in a couple pins, and take off. Once you get to your camp spot, just pull out the pins, set your stabilizer feet for the camper, and ride off to the local saloon and party all night.
Yeah.
And
That's
head back
actually
to camp,
not that far-fetched.
then head back to camp and sleep or question mark all night long.
Geez.
Then hook up the next day and head back home. See, it's the perfect marriage of glamping and freedom.
Good Lord.
There is my 2 cents.
Right.
Sorry I'm not writing from across the pond, but I'm sure the idea makes up for it. Hope the SFMC event goes well.
Which it did.
Thank you very much for bringing that up. It did. Louisa, how much fun did you have at the SFMC?
More fun than I can tell you. It was brilliant. Folks there were so accommodating. I even got roped in to do a reading, which was fabulous. And yeah. I mean, the whole day and the venue is just so iconic. I just like walking around, looking at all the pictures.
Well, the SFMC have been a part of our lives since really the beginning of Motorcycles and Misfits, and they are so gracious. Every time we've gone to an event up there, they've been the perfect hosts. There's a couple of members who actually live here in Santa Cruz. They're wonderful people throughout.
Yeah.
But you hold an audience very, very well. You took intelligent questions from the audience.
I
mostly.
did. Yes. Questions were very well put. And it was just from start to finish. I just didn't stop grinning.
Yeah, but you have to go
Very
back
nice.
to Gore Blimey Land tomorrow, don't you?
I know.
Well,
Blighty.
I wanted,
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
wanted to thank Jim for cooking hot dogs all day.
Well,
Yeah, they
That
were
was
good,
awesome.
too.
well,
And by the way,
Yeah,
thank you
not-
for burning at least one because I love them that way.
oh, is that right? Okay,
Yeah.
then I'll take
Um,
it. But Louisa also, I saw her manning the grill
Yeah.
quite a bit today as well.
Today.
So
But big shout out to Eric and Clay at SFMC
Yes.
for
Yeah, they were
hosting
awesome.
us. Jim met us there early. Louisa and I had to, and Jim, we packed up my car with every ounce of gear and accessory we had here, which, by the
it's
way,
pretty
was
amazing.
packed to the ceiling, and even in her footwell, she had to keep her feet in the air.
Oh, God.
Packed, and where I'm like, we're gonna get rid of some of this gear.
And it looks like you did. I looked at the gear room. It looked a little lighter.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing, I'm like, free gear exchange, take what you want. About the first 20 people showed up had armloads of gear they
So-
keep.
right.
We all have it.
And I'm like, no.
Now I know where to get rid of this stuff.
I would like to make a very brief shout out to my riding buddy yesterday, a lovely man called Arthur, who I've known for many, many years. And Arthur has gone through the ringer a little bit with his health, and he had a little bit of a battle, and he's won. And he's celebrating by riding his bike a lot. And he's a very good riding companion, but that's not why I want to shout out to him. Tragedy, the bar at SFMC only took cash. So he lent me some money so I could buy myself a gin and tonic. So thank you, Arthur.
Cheers.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
good guy, because I didn't have
Good
any
guy author.
I didn't have any cash, and I left my wallet in my Jag.
Yeah, that's
So-
what I always say too.
Yes,
Oh, I left my wallet. Oh.
yes, I left my wallet in the Jag, so I had to find somebody to buy me a gin and tonic. It was awful, really. And Arthur was that person, so thank you, Arthur, for buying me a gin and tonic.
That sounds like British people problems.
Yeah,
Right.
it really
I think
was.
it is because Louisa's pulled out a couple times.
My cards genuinely don't work here.
Yeah.
You know,
they
I
genuinely don't.
Oh,
had
that's the new excuse. My card doesn't work here.
Yes. I had to reduce myself to drinking Beefeater gin and not my beloved Bombay Sapphire. And it was a reduction. It was a reduction, but I put on my big girl panties and I got through it.
Concessions were made.
Yes.
But we had two big events in one weekend. Thank you to everyone who came out. And there were some people who came to both events. Matt, who we met at
Right.
Horizons Unlimited,
Yeah.
who came down from Sacramento.
Yeah.
Numbnuts.
He
Yeah.
slept in
No, not Numbnuts, Matt. This
different
is
Matt.
HU Matt.
Numbnut Matt was
Numbnuts
here
Matt
too.
also
Yeah.
came.
But the
And-
first Matt
and Hector.
camped in Hollister last night.
Yep.
He couldn't
Oh,
find
very
anywhere to
nice.
camp. I'm like,
Yeah,
you
there
go.
were people who came from like hours away and came to both events, which was really great.
I love
And-
seeing familiar faces as well.
Yeah. So we still have gear. If you need gear, come on down. But Lou, this is your last day here. We've done so much. We recorded an audiobook. We went down to LA, played, went to the Peterson Museum, did stuff. We've had these events. And then we went to a party last night at Erin Sills for
Oh,
her
nice.
engagement. And there were other land speed racers there. And we just had a great time talking and really wonderful, wonderful weekend. Lou, how much are you going to miss the Misfits?
Well, I think it's time to book another ticket back.
There you go.
But I mean, it's you have community back home, don't you?
Yes, I do. But there's something about the California sunshine and the welcome I've had and people in this room just made me feel like I've known you all my life, and I have to say thank you, especially to Liza, who's taken so much good care of me, has really helped me with the book, with some of these events, and I owe you a great debt. So
Well,
thank you.
that's the misfit way. You're one of us, darling, and I mean, you always have been.
She no longer a stunter. She's a legit.
Oh, she's legit.
She jumped right into legit. Well, and just final thanks again, Rob, for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Louisa for being here, for everyone who attended all of our events and just made it what it is because they were all misfits.
Tra-la-la.
I love it.
Oh,
But it's-
also, quick little shout out, Larson, that was with us today.
yes.
Yeah, Larson Jordan, really good guy. He's in the Valley Fair store. I didn't want to leave him out since I mentioned Pekka. So, hey, Larson, good job.
And
See you
also,
later on.
Not so bad looking, I'll just say.
Oh, the young man.
Yeah.
Well, we figured we have a couple of guys that have, some years of experience. We thought we would bring some eye candy for the ladies.
He didn't
Yeah.
want to see my tattoo.
I advised him not to. But especially I wanted to say thank you to all of our listeners for making this happen. This is why we do this.
But especially...
Quick announcement.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Oh, I think John's been good about putting it out, but we are going back down to Johnson Valley in January, which is rapidly approaching.
Oh, very
So
cool.
this is the Misfits Desert Hare Annual Rally number 3.
Ooh.
So the dates are going to be the weekend of January 24th and 5th. I'll get there probably a couple of days, like usually that Wednesday or Thursday before. It also coincides with King of the Motos. So if you'd like to come see this down in Johnson Valley.
Rob, you might want to come out for this.
It's a pretty good time, and we camp about 20 miles as the crow flies from King of the Hammers area. And so it's a fun ride through the desert to go see it.
Right.
And that should be a lot of fun. And also I'll throw out, I'm going to make a quick trip, I think, in December. Let me get the date right quick, down to Jawbone Canyon.
Love Jawbone.
So I think I'm going to go down like the weekend of December 19, 20, something like that. So Jawbone Canyon, it's high desert at the very bottom of the Sierra Mountains. But it's really cool. Great variety. There's some other, Dove Springs, all sorts of stuff.
I'm not
So,
saying no.
well,
Plus, you can ride all the way to Lake Isabella from there.
exactly.
I'm not saying no.
Well, we'll talk about it, but
Okay.
like you mentioned, you can go from high desert, Joshua trees, beautiful desert landscape, and next thing you know, you're up at like 5,000 or 6,000 feet in the
Yeah.
sugar pines in a day.
It's
And then
amazing.
come back down.
Yeah.
So anyway, if anybody wants to join for a ride, John might come. Coming up.
We got so much going on.
Right?
And I didn't even mention how many of our misfits are preparing for the LA to Barstow.
Oh, that's right. Y'all are doing that.
Yeah.
Or is it Barstow to, how is it?
LA
Barstow to
Barstow,
Vegas.
yeah.
LA to
Barstow to
Barstow.
Vegas, yeah.
Charlie was putting new tires on his Tenere 1200.
I can't believe he's taking that
Tenere 1200 on that.
Oh, get your
Oh.
get your whoops legs.
Yeah.
Right.
So, hey, thanks everyone for listening. Send us your emails. What do we want to ask them this time, Emma?
Oh, we can...
Oh,
Why is that,
what did they get excited about from EICMA? What are they excited about?
What are you excited? And not necessarily from EICMA. What are you excited? Are you excited about Suzuki Curry like I am?
Are you excited about electric motorcycles?
Exactly.
And the future.
Are you excited about the new Ranger 450s?
I am.
So
Yeah.
let us know. Let us know what you're excited about. Always thanks to our Patreon subscribers who are the
Thank you.
finest specimens of humanity on offer. You guys are simply on a pedestal watching everyone else go by. So thank you. It's because of you that we can keep doing this every week. So thank you.
So send your emails to motorcyclesandmisfits@gmail.com.
Those guys.
Or you can just visit us at motorcyclesandmisfits.com and click on Contact Us.
Yeah.
It's very easy. So time to get out of here. Thanks again, everyone. You guys are the best. This is Liza.
This is Louisa. Goodbye.
Stumpy John.
Emma, darling.
This is Rob.
It's Neal.
Naked Jim, son.
Bagel.
And we are out of here.
Cool.